What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Suave Sessions. Okay, so where did Raquel grow up? What was childhood like for you?
So I'm a Jersey girl. I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I was born in Newark. My family is from Newark, born and raised. In fact, I have three brothers who still live in Newark. Yeah, that's where I grew up. Grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl, suburbs, all that good stuff.
Nice. So how did acting happen for you?
Well, acting happened for me. My mom would say that. She said that I came out her womb acting like a fool. So it's been this, it's ever since I was a little girl, like little, just acting all around the house, doing dress up, playing pretend, making little skits. I'm the youngest of 5, so I would do things like cryo cue, and everyone would go, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong?" And I'd be like, "And scene."
You were that sister.
Say that again.
So you were that sister.
I was that sister.
Yeah.
It got worse.
We got in trouble.
Yeah, it got worse as I got on, like in the years, because I would do monologues, and my mom, one monologue I did, it was about a girl being like abused, and I just like, "Mom, come here," and I just started doing a monologue, and she's like, "Who did this to you? Who did this to you?" I'm like, and see, so yeah.
You know what? Okay. So did that ever get you to a point where like you would be serious, people be like, "Don't do it with her. Just don't even pay her no mind."
Yeah, it is really, no one knows if I'm serious or not. I absolutely love it. I started crying the other day, and my husband comes in and he goes, "And scene." I said, "That's why you get me. You know that this is fake." I'm not like I just do it for fun. But yeah, no one knows when I'm serious, and ever.
That could be a great thing. Yeah. It could be a lot of fun. With the lack of representation, being a Black girl, what was that like for you, trying to not just see yourself on television and in movies and that kind of thing, but then to understand like what you want to become? How was that?
To be honest, in the world, when I mean in the world, I mean like in school or clubs or different things like that, that's difficult because you don't see anybody that looks like me, whether it's my size or my hair or anything like that. But I have a Black mother who grew up in Newark, and I have Black eyes. So that representation never seemed far from me. I always knew who I was. I always knew how to conduct myself, or how I was going to be in life, how I would raise my daughter now, and how she would look, and how we would talk. And so it wasn't a far reach because of who my mother was. My mother was an educator for over 40 years in the Newark public school system. So I was taught very well from the closest person to me. And so the representation for me started right there in my home. So even if I went outside and there was nobody who looked like me, it didn't matter, because I had my mom. I knew what a Black woman does and talks and how she conducts herself. I had my mom. So it wasn't, and that's the thing, like it wasn't anything that the world could ever teach me about being a Black woman and what it looked like and what it sounded like. I'm a mom. She got it.
Which moms do.
Yeah.
So you gotta, it's like they get on your nerves growing up, but when you're an adult, you really appreciate all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like good things.
Yeah.
So you start acting. You decide you want to do this professionally. What were your first projects like?
So I started high school when I was 12. And that was when I first took my first improv classes, when I was 12. And then by the time when I was 16, that's when my parents and I had the discussion, I want to do this professionally, because I was doing plays in school, I was doing skits, I was doing improv, and plus I was dancing. So I wanted to go to NYU Tisch. And I told you I'm from the suburbs, so I didn't know anything about public transportation or anything like that. So, and I was 16.
Yeah.
So, my father took me to the city one time just to see the campus of Tisch and how it all operated. And I ended up walking onto the set of Law and Order. And I'm kind of like those, you remember those kids that just never shut up? That's me. So
we got some of those in the family.
Yeah, that's me. We grow up to be successful, but we talk a lot.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
Yeah, so I ended up walking onto the set of Law and Order, ended up talking to the director, to the main actor at the time. And they gave me like a little walk-on role. So it was non-speaking, but according to my mother, that was like the best role I've ever done in my entire life. And you literally blink, you miss me. She had slowed it down.
So that's the best one. That was it.
So once I got the feel of that, my first goal initially, because of my training, was to go into theater, classical theater. And so at that particular time, at 16, I started auditioning for Off-Broadway. Then I'm going into college. So I started doing classical theater and Off-Broadway at 16.
Wow. What was that like as a 16-year-old taking on a city like New York? Like it's a lot.
It is a lot. It's funny because at the time when I was doing it, didn't feel like a lot. Now that I look back at it and I realize everything, and it's funny, everything that as far as the auditions, my headshots, my resume, I got that all together myself. And then I would tell my parents, okay, I have to be here at this time for this audition.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a lot. As I look back, I'm like, I was competing against, women who are, of course, older than I am. And it just felt like, hey, this is home, especially when it comes to theater. It's just nothing like it.
Nice. All right. So did you enjoy New York?
I did. I did. Yeah, I'm a Jersey girl, so New York is right there. So the part of New York is theater, is Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
That is my first love. The stage, being on, that for me is where I feel that I nest best. My foundation is on the stage. So I absolutely love New York. It's nothing like it. If you, like they say, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Anywhere. And unless you live there, you don't fully understand that. It takes living there.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you decide to leave New York? Because you left New York and went to LA briefly?
No, I didn't go to LA at all.
Okay.
I just met my husband in Philly, and then he moved out to LA. But as far as, I've always been on the East Coast. I ended up going to Fairleigh Dickinson University. Well, first I went to Lincoln, HBCU.
Okay.
Lancaster. And I won't say detour, but I just had to switch lanes. I had my son at Lincoln, and then I went to Fairleigh Dickinson University. So then I became a single mom, doing the hustle and bustle of pursuing this career very early on at 19.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so because it's getting interesting. So you take on like this life and this challenge, and you're 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're going after it.
Yep.
Most people, once they have a child, they kind of rein it in, and dreams go away and responsibilities come first.
Yep.
You were able to take on responsibilities while still dreaming.
Yes, and to be honest, if it wasn't for like help, like my mother, my siblings at the time helping me through it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Just hands down, the truth.
Yeah.
And it was also very important to me. I didn't want my son to grow up feeling that he was the reason why his mother's dreams didn't
Right.
And to be honest, right before I got pregnant, I was actually on my way to LA. They were doing some sort of auditions for Jeopardy or something like that. And I was getting ready to go, and I found out that I was pregnant with my son. So I didn't want him to feel like he was the reason why things didn't happen. So it made me push harder. And I even tell my son to this day, he is the reason why I'm the woman that I am today, is because of him.
Wow.
I probably, and just because of how things go as actors, I probably would not have pushed as hard if it wasn't.
Yeah, because it's easier to give up when no one's depending on you. So it's a lot easier to just be like, you know what, whatever. Like when you know somebody is watching you and depending on you to like be successful, it's like, let me get up and go over
Let
here.
me get up.
Let me go take care of this. And so that's dope. And then you start getting your projects in. You start acting. You start seeing yourself on film, on television. At what point do you say, this isn't enough? Like, I want more. This isn't enough.
I think it was like my husband and I think we were maybe married 3 years. My husband absolutely loved him. He was in LA. He was doing things with Leah Daniels, getting ready to do big things. And he and I fell in love, wanted to, came out to Jersey for me. And as being married, he believed in me and loved me so much. He bounced on LA and gave up everything, acting, and became the breadwinner and taking care of his family and myself so that I can pursue my dreams. So at some point, just seeing my husband work almost like 14 hours out of a 24-hour day so that I can do what I do. I was just like, and I had already, I'm coming up around the time of the Billboard. Now, mind you, I've already done the Billboard once before that. I've done it twice. So I had already done it and it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to be. Because honestly, I just thought I was going to get a job. Just like I was kind of clever, just thought I'd get a job or an audition.
Right.
And then right around the time where it really felt like, I got to do something more, is when we put up the second Billboard, because I just needed to do something more for myself. So even the putting up the Billboard was more of a personal thing than it was actually professional.
Yeah, and I think, now we're on the Billboard. I think what happens is people don't understand why someone would go to certain extremes. And in our minds, we rationalize it 30 different ways. And we're like, okay, well, she was just like, look, I ain't got nothing else. Like, what is there to lose? Then there's the other people that's like, the worst you can say is no. Then you have the group that's like, well, she had the money that she could just blow it and get up a billboard. And then other people are like, well, I saw she got a kid and she probably like sacrificed. And everyone comes up with like the reason why you do it.
Yeah.
But it's at that point for you, was it like a full steam ahead kind of thing? Was it like a feeling of desperation, like something has to give? I'm gonna be all up in this man's face until you say yes. Like, because that's what I did to Nelson Mandela. I was like, I'm gonna be all up in your face.
In your face.
Until you talk to me. Like, it's one or the other. This is gonna happen. Either you're gonna do it nicely, or I'm just gonna get up in your face all the time. I got in his face. Like,
you gotta do what you gotta do. To be honest, if I'm being, I was at a point, I didn't want my kids to see me give up. I didn't want my husband's sacrifice or my mother's I don't want to get emotional, oh my goodness. I didn't want my mother's sacrifice or my husband's sacrifice to go by the wayside. These are people who believed in me all my life, and I owed it to go after it as much as possible, especially to my children.
Yeah. Because personally, I was like, the worst that can happen is you say no. For you to say no, you got to see me. Like, and I'm gonna put my face in your face. You're gonna see me every day you get ready to drive home. You're going to see me. And if you say no, you say no. But I think the amazing thing, and what I said when I saw the billboard, I was like, one, that's Philly. Like, that's how that's how we do in Northeast. Like, we gonna get it. But then I was just like, if not Tyler, somebody is going to see this and be like, I want to give her a chance because she has the grind. Now, the flip side of that, you have, again, the critics that will say, well, that's a way of jumping the line. With, again, not knowing your backstory.
Yeah.
So saying you're jumping the line of being able to do something that someone who doesn't have the resources to do this isn't able to do. So he shouldn't hire her because hiring her makes it's like a slap in the face to everyone else. You just paid your way in. But it was a sacrifice that you made. That wasn't just like, I got this extra money to blow. It's like, how do I make this happen? Yeah,
everybody's journey is different. So I can't, it's how we all get to where we want to get to. So I don't, people, I've heard the stories, how people felt about the decision that I made. And even with Tyler said, don't do this. And he was very clear about it. Tyler is a very generous man, though I don't think he's in the business of giving out roles just because. So I had to earn, though I put it up there. It almost put it put a target on my back. So you that ballsy to put up twice in 7 years, a total of 3 billboards. What can you do?
You better bring it.
Exactly. So it didn't make things easy for me at all. I had to work harder to prove myself. And to be honest, if I hadn't, it just fell. So I still had to. He was gonna make me work for my bread and butter.
I think at that point now you gotta work harder because now you threw yourself in my face. You better bring it every single. Oh, you're the billboard girl. You better bring it.
Exactly.
Somebody get the billboard girl lunch. It's like, and people make it seem like that just it opened your door and it lets you walk in. But it's like it makes it worse when you plaster yourself for the world to say, I'm here, I'm the next, what's up?
Yep.
Because then it's like everybody else who working for it, like, I'm gunning at that one right there. And they gun at you.
Because like you said, they think I jumped the line. They think I did something different. So you think you don't have to follow the same, role as everybody else has. And to be honest, even with this role or any other roles coming after, I'm still going to have to work harder than the next person, which is fine by me. But yeah, I'm going to have to continue to prove myself over and over and over again because they may think I jumped the line.
And that's fine. Because all that does is like, now I get to prove myself to y'all as well. What's up?
Yeah.
Like, step up. Because again, that's what we do. And I think it really gives you that New York, if you can make it here, you make it anywhere mentality.
Yeah.
Like, we don't back down from people who think they can take our spots. Like, I'm gonna work my ass off to get there. And then if you think you're just gonna come in here and take it, we gonna have a problem. Let's go.
Yeah, that's the only way I operate. I like the fire.
You got to. Especially in this industry. You got to. So now you have a new project.
Yes.
Tyler Perry.
Yes.
One, before we get into the actual project, does he pick on you about the billboard? Bring it up.
Actually, after the billboard, I got a role on Sisters playing Officer Sisters. I always say sisters. It's the suburban thing.
It's the suburban part.
Sisters. I gotta hit that A.
Like us, okay.
Sisters. when I first got on set after the billboard, and we were actually running lines. I was running lines with DeVal, and he didn't even know it was me until I left set. And then that's when someone told him that whoever's playing Officer Rhea was the one who put up the billboard. And he was like, that was the one? He didn't even know it was me. Which is so relieving because he looked at me with a different eye versus this is the billboard girl. He looked at me as just another actress.
Right. You weren't there because of the billboard.
Yes. So right. he hasn't picked on me yet. Yeah. But no, it's been very, just actor-director relationship.
What was it like for you to set that goal after everything that you've been through, everything that you struggled to pursue and chase and sacrifice, everything you've been through, the day you pulled through that gate, and it's like, was it I made it, or was it let's work?
I'm a let's work girl. I'm always about the work. I'm always ready. Next, bigger. That's who I am. It would be. I wish I was that to be like, oh, this is. But my mindset is always, let me show you what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Nice. So let's talk about what you can do. You have a new project. How did that happen? Did that spin off from you being on Sisters? Well, I auditioned for the role for Sisters, just like everyone else, and I booked Blue, so which was fantastic, and I absolutely Blue is a character that I had to create. So when I went into the audition, I was completely comfortable with this particular character. So I was very happy after auditioning with Kim Coleman that I booked the role. Yeah.
Get your money up, so get your money up, so get your money up. You already know what's up.
What was that experience?
It's fantastic. What I loved, we were in one of our meetings before we started shooting, just meeting everybody, meeting the entire cast, and we were all expressing to Christian how much we loved the book, how much we loved our roles and the characters in the show. And it was for the women, especially Eva's role, we just like being women whose roles could be all men roles, but they're not. They're played by women, strong, Black, powerful, smart women, and it could be men roles, but we're doing it as females.
Does it help that you're in, not that you're personally, but society is in a very recognition phase of women and women's abilities and women's prowess? Does that help with this project?
It does. It brings it to the forefront, and I also think that it gives it a little color. You know, you don't really see us in roles like that all the time, and I think this show does. It shows that we can do it just as well, and we can look like us doing. And because being a strong, because I'm a Black woman, being a Black woman, being a woman, and then being a Black woman, we're very different. We get.
You know what? I love that. Because if you are in the NFL and you don't want a Super Bowl ring, why are you here?
Why are you here? So yes, the goal is an Emmy. The goal is a Golden Globe. It's an Oscar, or two, or three. To play alongside Angela Bassett, to be in a film with Will Smith or Meryl Streep. Yeah, that's the either the what's next or the eventually. I take both.
I like that.